Here we go. The field works their way around turn 10. Pace cars already on pit road. Mark Gibson, Matthew Geidel bringing them down. Field is in formation. The starter is giving them a look. And we have a green flag. We have a green flag. Group 5 is underway. And Mark Gibson heads out to a big lead as they head down to turn 1, 3 wide, Scott.
Yeah, Jim Cummings jumped out and just literally leaped out in front of the pack. Now in second place, literally right on the tail of Mark Gibson now, kicking up a little bit of smoke. A couple tires dropped off there. 2 and 3 wide as the rest of the field goes back on through and around to you, Dom.
And the Torquay Dachshunds of Mark Gibson and Jim Cummings get the drop on the field. So it looks like Matt Geidel slided into third place. He's in the Mazda RX-7. Then we have Matt Polano in the 199 and running in fourth, followed by Marshall Lytle. And then your leader in ITB is the 69 of Scotty Holman and what we like to call the taxi cab here, the Mazda Protege, as the field heads down the hill. And I also saw David Platt in the 54 car ITS trying to make a move. He had to drop his right side tires in order not to have anything happen, but looks like the Dolphins really got the jump over everybody else.
And that Volkswagen GTI of Richard Collins has quite the interesting paint scheme, doesn't it?
It has those almost like squares of color. It looks very interesting.
Yes, that was you can't miss that car when it goes by. And we'll see if Mark Gibson still has a lead. And here he is coming into turn 10. He's got a sizable lead on the field now. It's at least 10 car lengths back to the second place car. So he works his way around turn 10 and they attempt to go too wide coming out of turn 10 behind him in the battle for second as they head down to turn 1, Scott.
Yep, Mark Gibson out.
Whoa, hold on, I'm sorry, Scott. We got a driver who's way off into the kitty litter, but he collected it back. It's the 02 car of Jonathan Kimberg, who did a good job getting that car back on track after he was well into the dirt.
He was, and they're coming around to you, Dom.
Yeah, Mark Gibson's put out a margin of about 6 to 7 car lengths, but then we have a fierce battle for second place in ITS with the 03 of Jim Cummings and the 30 of Matt Geidel. We then have Matt Polano running in fourth and Marshall Lytle in fifth. And then your leader in ITB, Scott Holman, making his way up to turn 3. Check out in second place in class, runs about 5 car lengths back from there. And then we have, looks like Alzar Man has also done very well in this opening lap and is able to maintain hold on third spot in ITB. So these cars getting themselves sorted out as they head down the hill, and we'll see where they are when they come back around.
So we're waiting for the leader. Should be Mark Gibson. Datsun 240Z. We'll see if he comes back around as the leader. We expect him to. There he is. Beautiful orange paint job on that race car. Works his way around turn 10 flawlessly. Interesting the different lines that are run by Jim Cummings and Matthew Geidel as Cummings seems to go down on the inside of the berm in turn 10, and Geidel actually runs full width of that berm.
Yeah, Geidel wants to make that move around Cummings. Thought the better of it, tucked back in behind him as they go into turn 1. Still Gibson with about 10-15 car lengths out front now as he's coming into turn 2, followed by everybody else. Tom, they're coming around to you.
And the battle between Cummings and Geidel has a lot of Matt Polano to decrease that gap as well. He's about 5 car lengths back from Matt Geidel as they head up to turn number 3. And then looks like Chuck Howard's still keeping the 69 of Scotty Holman, new leader in ITB arms as well, at about 6 car lengths back. And then again, Alzar Man only about 2 car lengths back from Allard as they go up to turn 3. So nice job by Man to stay within the shadow of that Porsche as they go down to the town section.
Plaid. That's the paint job on that Volkswagen. It's plaid.
It is plaid.
Yes, it's plaid.
Very intricate.
It occurred to me as he went by last time. That car is plaid. But however, Mark Gibson's leading car is orange, and that orange bullet of his, the Datsun 240Z, is working its way around turn 10, coming down to the start-finish line. 3 laps complete. And the battle for second rages on. Jim Cummings is holding that lead for second over Matthew Geidel. Scott?
Yeah, I mean, just about a half a car length separating Cummings and Geidel right now. Geidel coming out of turn 10. really took it kind of out. Wanted to make the pass on Cummings, couldn't quite do it. But Dom, they should be coming around to you by now.
And Matt Guido and Jim Cummings around turn 2, and there's no more than about 2 prongs between those two. They're going to make their way up to turn 3, and more roll speed for Matt Guido, at least through turn 3, is able to close up on the back of Jim Cummings. And in ITB, we look back, and Al's our man, as Scotty Holman's beginning to pull away, has decreased that deficit to Chuck Allard, only about a car length and a half back. They're going to go up to turn 3, so that Toyota MR2 coming alive as we're now getting a number of laps into this race.
They'll have 8 laps to go the next time the leader comes by, and you know that Matthew Guido in third wants to break up that Datsun stranglehold of the top 2 steps on the podium. Now here comes our leader, Mark Gibson, coming around turn 10. Second and third are now in view. And they are nose to tail right now. Absolutely nose to tail. The 03 car Jim Cummings is holding that position over Matthew Guido as they go to turn 1.
Yeah, and again, Craig, as they go into breaking into turn 1, it is Cummings and Guido just about side by side. Guido might be able to do a little bit of over-under action. It looks like, yeah, possibly he did. Dom, we should be able to tell when they come around to here momentarily.
And Matt Guido and the RX-7 are actually going to go side by side out of turn 2, and looks like Jim Cummings has the inside, but Matt Guido's going to have the preferred line and holds in front, but Matt Polano with this side-by-side battling, able to come right up on them. He's running 4th overall, but we might soon have a 3-way battle for the final podium spot in ITS, as we now have our ITB leaders coming through with no more than the car length between Allard and Alzar Man.
Yeah, that battle for second, third, and fourth is going to be a good one when they come back around. This last lap, Guido got to the inside of Cummings. Cummings was able to hold him off as they came out of turn 2, but Guido was on the outside and maintained his momentum as they went through turn 3. It'll be interesting to see how they fare when they come back around. And our leader now, Mark Gibson, is coming around turn 10. Heading down toward the start-finish line, and we have some sort of shakeup that's happening in second. Who is this running second now? That is the 30 car. The 30 car Guido's got a good stretch on second, and Cummings is quite a bit distance behind him. A couple of seconds behind him, so something happened elsewhere on the track.
If I might surmise, it looks like the much slower car, the 04 of Windsor Fur, who just came by, may have been blocking that down around the talent section, allowing Guido to get around and making that big move on Cummings. I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong, but that's what it appeared to be, at least at this point. Don, they're coming around to you.
Yep, and now that Matt Guido's been able to pull away a little bit, looks like Jim Cummings is now under attack from the 199 of Matt Polano, who's come alive in that Mazda Miata, and it looks like Matt Polano is going to be the patient one so far, as he's just been waiting for Cummings and Guido to have a moment where he can pounce. And as we look back to ITB, our final spot on the podium between Chuck Allard and Alzar Man has about 2 car lengths between those 2 vehicles. Up to turn 3 they go, and it looks like Alzar Man's gonna wound back there and wait to see if they can pressure Chuck Allard into a mistake.
Yeah, the last lap around, Guido had about a 2.5 second lead over third place Jim Cummings, and they were nose to tail the lap before that. They were battling side by side, so you know something happened, a scrum, if you will, on the other side of the track, as our leader, Mark Gibson, now flashes by the start-finish line, and Matthew Guido is actually making a nice attempt to close that gap. He's now only 3.5 seconds behind, with 6 laps to go in the race. And attention in the paddock, Group 6. Let's get all these Mazdas up on the line. There are 47 of you. It's time to get you lined up. Group 6, let's get your cars on the grid, please.
And no changes to report up front with the running order. Matt Polano about equidistant back from Jim Cummings as he was the last lap, but now Marshall Lytle and his BMW has been able to make headway into Matt Polano's advantage, so we could have another battle in ITS for me, shortly. And looking back to ITB, we have Chuck Allard, who's now distanced himself from Alzar Man. We have a spirited battle between 2 BMW 2002s, of John Kimberg and Alton Fire making their way down into turn 1 as we speak.
Now this battle has been raging the entire race. This is the battle between the 111 and the 12, and that's Carlos Schooler in the Toyota, and the 12 is that plaid Volkswagen of Richard Collins, and they've been battling nose to tail the entire race as they head down into turn 1. Just to tell you, there's good racing all throughout the pack, as our leader now is going by the start-finish line. Scott?
Yep, and again, he just turned in his best that's the lap time, we're going to talk again, of a 1:25.638, about 3.5 seconds behind Matthew Geidel. Matthew Geidel definitely been the hard charger this round, coming down from the ranks, making his way up to second, and within striking distance of Gibson with about 5 laps to go. Dom, they're coming around to you.
And the front of our ITS field has strung out. At this point, it looks like everyone's about equal distance, between 4 and 5 car lengths between each of the cars. At the front, we have Scotty Holman, your ITB leader, heading by the start finish. He has a healthy margin over both Chuck Allard and Alazar Main, who run second and third in ITB respectively. Now I'm interested to see where both the BMW 2002 and then the battle that Craig alluded to with the Volkswagen and the Toyota MR2 is at this point.
You know, the last lap around, Matthew Geidel cut out about 1/10 of a second on Mark Dixon's lead, but at 3.4 seconds, he doesn't have enough laps to really do anything. And here comes that battle between that Toyota and that Volkswagen coming out of turn 10 right now. And right now the plaid car is ahead in that battle as our leader, Mark Gibson, works his way around turn 10, followed by Matthew Geidel in the Mazda. It's a Datsun, followed by a Mazda. We'll see what the distance is now. It was 3.4 seconds. It is now 3.36 seconds, Scott.
Yeah, gaining about a tenth there, but still, any gain is better than a loss at this particular point. Jim Cummings, overall third place, making his best lap time right now, coming through at a 1:27.61, followed a couple of seconds behind by Matthew Polano and, of course, Marshall Lytle, your top 5. Dom, they're coming around to you.
And Mark Gibson's going to start making his way through some of our ITB traffic, so we'll see if that has any effect on Matt Geidel's ability to catch back up to his rear bumper. They're going to be heading down to the town section where it's particularly difficult to pass, as we have our ITB leader, Scotty Holman, crossing the start-finish stripe, again with plenty of margin in hand in the ITB class. We then have the 50 of Chuck Howard in his Porsche, and then the 26 of Alazar Mann in the Toyota MR2. Those cars are well strung out from one another, where they had been running a little bit closer earlier on in the session.
And we're waiting for our leader to work his way around turn 10. We expect to see Mark Gibson any moment now in his orange Toyota number 13, orange Datsun, I'm sorry. Oh, Toyota Datsun fans will crucify me for that one. His orange Datsun 240Z, working his way around turn 10 now and charging to the start-finish line. It looks like that Mazda may have closed up some. Let's see. The distance between first and second is now 2.2 seconds. Scott.
Drop of a second right there. So again, give Matthew Geidel the hard charger award for this particular race. I mean, he is definitely not hanging it up with 3 laps to go. Still anybody's race. Dom, they're coming around to you.
And as they come from behind the trees, Mark Gibson has about 10 car lengths over Matt Geidel, but Geidel's definitely closing visibly as he goes up to turn 3, and again the roll speed of Geidel's RX-70 is evident, as that's his advantage that he has over our leader Mark Gibson. As we have Scotty Holman, your leader in ITB, crossing the start-finish line, and he's going to see what he can do with David Plott, who runs in the ITS class. And then we have the 50 of Chuck Howard, who's pulled away now from Alazar Mann in the Toyota MR2, the 26 car. As our ITB field and our ITS field throughout has strung out these last few laps, and I think some of the separation lap traffic has something to do with that.
Attention in the paddock, Group 6. Come on now, there's almost 50 of you in there. Let's get them on the grid. Group 6, let's get your cars on the grid, please. Thank you. Here come our leader, Mark Gibson, and you know, there's only going to be 2 laps to go when they come by here. I don't know if Matthew Geidel's got enough time to catch him, but he is making an effort. He is only Well, he's only cut out another tenth that time. He's 2.152 seconds behind. There just isn't enough time for him to catch the leader, Scott.
Now, at this point, no, there's not. But again, he still made a heck of an effort to try. That's for sure.
He's got him in sight, Tom.
He does. They're coming around to you.
And another driver who is trying to make headway for podium positions is Matt Polano, who's trying to gain on Jim Cummings. That Miata's been coming alive as we go later in the race, and Cummings and Polano rounding turn 2 as we speak. About 2 cars between them as they've had to work their way through some of the ITB back markers. They're going to go up to turn 3, and we'll see what Polano has as we're going to be receiving the one lap to go board this next time around.
Yes, we will. As soon as we see our leader, work his way around turn 10,
we will have 1 lap remaining.
Yes, we'll have 1 to go at that point. Such beautiful, diverse machinery in this group. It's a joy to watch them negotiate these corners at speed. Here comes our leader, Mark Gibson, Datsun 240Z from Fairfax, Virginia, has the lead over Matthew Geidel, comes down here to get the 1 to go board. Matthew Geidel is now 1.8 seconds behind. If he's going to get the lead, Gibson has to make a mistake.
At this point, Craig, you're absolutely correct. But still, I mean, again, that's a heck of a comeback. That's for sure. But time will tell. 3rd place, Jim Cummings. 4th place, Matthew Polano go by right now. Those guys being shown the 1 to go board. There's 5th place, Marshall Lytle. So winding this race down. It'll be all over here in just a few moments.
And Scott, Craig, we had a change of position just now for the final spot on the podium in ITS. Matt Polano in the 199 overtook Jim Cummings. It was just as I say that, Jim Cummings takes the spot right back, using the torque of that Datsun to drive around the Miata as they came out of turn 2. So Matt Polano had the position for just a second, and then the Datsun able to take it right back.
The race is never over until it's over. As we're waiting for our leader, Mark Gibson, to come around and get the checkered flag. And we're waiting patiently, waiting with anticipation. And here we are. That is, yes, they're in traffic. I mean, by the scoreboard, Geidel's going to be as close as he's been all day, but Mark Gibson is going to go under the start-finish line and win this group. He's won by 0.768 seconds. It's a shame that Geidel didn't get a good start. I think he's had the quickest car, especially in the second half of the race, but he lost so many positions on the start that working his way back up through that traffic, he just couldn't get back to the lead.
No, but I tell you what, that's by Geidel, that was a well-fought, well-deserved second-place spot. I mean, yeah, of course, would he like to have come in first? I'm certainly assuming so, but again, give that man definitely the hard charger award for this race.
Oh, absolutely. The second half of the race, he made up more than 2.5 seconds.
That's huge. That's huge.
All right.
Wait for the rest of the field to come around and finish up. We'll get Craig to give us a rundown. Looks like we'll have a little bit of time, gentlemen. Looks like we've got the emergency vehicles going out to retrieve somebody.
Yeah, guys, we got an issue deck in here in turn 8 and turn 9, so that's going to take a little bit of time here. So
that's going to take a little bit of time for Craig to read like all 800 of the Spec Miata group. So
and we're only at 799, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah, and so you're going to split them with me, Scott.
Greg, you can take 46 to 20, and then we'll let
there you go.
We'll let Scott take 20 and above.
There you go. But first, we got to give the running order for this group that just finished. Winning the race was Mark Gibson, followed by Matthew Geidel, Matthew Polano, Marshall Lytle, and David Platter, your top 5. Richard Collins, Scott Holman, L. Chuck Allard, Elazar Mann, and Jim Cummings are your top 10. Cummings ran there in the top 3 for so long in this race. Mark Geidel, actually now they've got Jim Cummings shown it as 11th, and Paul Vance was 10th. Mark Giles is 12th, Dalton Fryer III is 13th, Jonathan Kinberg 14th, Carlos Schooler 15th, Windsor Furr 16th, then Chuck Pazeski, Patrick Pegas, and Bruce Shelton was 19th.